Hello, party people. Oh, forgot to turn on my light today. Mind your eyes. That might be too many. That's better. Okay. Yeah, it'll do. Okay, so I am late. I do apologize for being an hour late than usual. Didn't sleep really well last night because after mowing the lawn yesterday, I ended up with a cramp that went from just under my, essentially just under my pectoral muscle to all the way down my abs, about the width of my hand. And as I was getting ready to go to bed last night, having sat in the chair far too long, I discovered that every time I went to sit down to get comfortable after I'd gotten out of the chair, it felt like someone had reached into my stomach and gone like that. So, yeah, it took me about an hour and a half of walking back and forth in my shed, looking at, doom scrolling, basically, until I was able to sit down comfortably. Also, holy shit, I just noticed I have 85 followers over here on Rumble. Thank you all so much. Deeply appreciate it. The last time I looked, I think it was still only at 80. So, I do appreciate the growth. Thank you all very much. I will remind you that we are, in fact, still using the hashtag July is White History Month, because we shouldn't have to ask permission to celebrate our history and heritage in our homelands. If you choose to use the hashtag, you can use it for two purposes: to highlight good things, or to bring attention to really shitty things that we should be paying attention to as a people, so that we can start forming a, for lack of a better term, a political and economic bloc to defend ourselves. Whether we do that by voting or what have you. Let's see. Also, if you would like to support me, you can go over to the Ko-Fi, fling me a few bucks. If you do that on a monthly basis... sorry, let me rephrase. I'm slowly reworking my e-bag. I only just got out of the shower, and I really shouldn't have thrown on this friggin' heavy pullover either. If you want to throw me some money, you can send me a message through Ko-Fi. If you do that, hopefully the desktop alert I've set up will actually give me a boop, and I can go and read your message right away. That will be instead of doing a Rumble rant or a super chat. Excuse me. If for whatever reason you choose not to use the Ko-Fi and want to do a Rumble rant, by all means, I can't stop you. It's your money. Just please be aware that there is some question as to whether Rumble is taking 30% or as much as 50% of donations to creators. I've been using Rumble now, I think I'm going on about 2 years. And, I've never once collected any money from Rumble. I am getting ad revenue. I am getting the occasional rant. I did have a subscriber for a while. At no point has there ever been enough money to reach the cash-out threshold, which personally I think is a bit dirty on the part of Rumble, but it's probably industry standard, so can't really fault them too much. If you decide to support me on a monthly basis, you can subscribe on Rumble, as I just mentioned, but I would prefer that you did so through Ko-Fi. Either way, if you support me on a monthly basis, I will put your name in the ticker at the bottom of the screen, alongside ZenRab7 and Simon JJ. Let's see, what else? If you want to socialize with me, you can find me on Gab, GETTR, Substack, and X. GETTR is kinda nebulous. I'm not really seeing any true engagement on GETTR. It seems to be more Americentric, so I'm thinking about dropping GETTR. That will probably actually be something I do today after I'm done streaming. Let's see. Gab, I will absolutely maintain, because I believe Andrew Torba has free speech absolutism done right. Let me see what else. Other than that, if you want to support me but you don't have any money and you don't want to take the time to say hello to me, I can understand. I'm kind of a hard guy to like. But if you would like to support the channel, support what I do, but you don't have the money, or don't want to spend any money, and I completely understand, life is what it is right now, you can absolutely like, share, comment, chat, follow, or subscribe. Again, we're talking about different platforms. If you follow me here on Rumble, it costs you nothing. If you subscribe to me on YouTube, it costs you nothing. Please do remember to hit the bell, smack that all messages thing. Other than that, beat the black off the subscribe button on YouTube. Unless you're not using dark mode, and you're some kind of monster, in which case you might have some sort of psychotic tendency, and I don't know that I want you to follow me. Just kidding. Let's see. Okay, so we will start where we always start, with Thus Always to Dickheads. We do have a bit of a news-thin show today, so I don't have a lot to share with you guys. That's part of the reason I wasn't terribly concerned about showing up a bit late. So, from Ireland, and via Knights Templar International, I believe? Yes. From the Republic of Ireland. Incredibly, many proposed huge migrant centres, like this building in County Mayo, have mysteriously burnt to the ground suddenly. We think global warming must be to blame, don't you? And I did respond, are you sure it was global warming and not the high level of CO2? My free house is on fire. I don't think it is, mate. Jesus. Let's see, what are we looking? Yeah, global warming, 100%. St. James, the Matamoros, approves of global warming. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the ticket. That's a hell of a nice gif. Is there sound? Oh, there might be. Let's see what it says.
Dios lo quiere! ¡Victoria! Santiago y cierra España! ¡Retrocédese, Santiago!
That'll be from the Reconquista. Definitely spontaneous combustion due to summer. Yep, damn global warming. Friggin' heat waves. Buildings don't rape little girls. This is not the one you think it is. Oh dear. The Nazis have weighed in. Not just any Nazis, the American Nazi socialist. Yeah. Truth is hard. The wind is driving them out. They were driven to the next town over. Yeah. There's no apostrophe R-E in your. Moving along. County Mayo. Why did you have to ask where this was? It's right friggin' there. County Mayo. Okay, I understand the public education system is failing everybody in North America, but you don't have an excuse. That means you have a challenge to overcome. So if you aren't going to learn to read comprehensively, don't expect anyone else to explain it to you. Dear God, that's a dickhead move too. Let's talk about a Canadian dickhead. From Antonio tweets, Toronto police officer Farhan Ali has been charged following a Peel Regional Police Special Victims Unit investigation. He is facing multiple charges, including 3 counts of sexual assault, 3 counts of assault, and 4 counts of mischief. Police have released limited details, and the case is now before the courts. Toronto Police Service confirm he has been suspended with pay, charged for 3 counts of sexual assault, suspended with pay. Yeah, nobody takes care of the police like the police. At the same time, the Officer Vic account, known for a strong online presence and appearing in photos with Ali, now appears to be gone. Coincidence or something more? These allegations have not been proven in court. Elbows up. Yeah, elbows up. Let's get that GDP filled with...
Hello and assalamu alaikum. I'm Officer Farhan Ali with the Toronto Police Service. I've been an officer with the Toronto Police for 14 years now.
Farhan Ali.
Farhan Ali.
Farhan Ali.
Constable Farhan Ali.
Toronto Police Constable Farhan Ali
Has just been arrested. The guy who's been lecturing Canadians on behalf of the Toronto Police Department for the past 3 years has been arrested and charged with 3 counts of sexual assault, 3 counts of assault, and 4 additional counts.
And I'm currently working as a neighborhood community officer in the Thorncliffe Park community.
Okay, I'm going to point something out. These are grown men on children's bicycles. That's bad enough. These are grown men on children's bicycles that do not belong to them or their children. These are grown men on bicycles built for the weight of children. Do you know how load-bearing works? Probably not. You don't know how to... allegations.
A lot of our communication that we have with the youth, with community members, is through social media. And I like that we are evolving as a service to incorporate things like that. And yeah, I'm happy to be able to connect with anyone in any way, shape, or form, social media being one of the biggest ones. So.
This is going to be the first of many episodes.
Yeah, maybe not so much. I don't think... yeah. Expect the story of the Toronto police officer to be memory old quickly, just like this story out of New Brunswick, and we know why. Former RCMP officer sentenced to house arrest for crimes against a 16-year-old. Osama Ibrahim. He's going to serve 2 years conditional, including 9 months house arrest. As a Muslim community liaison, his job was to promote cultural understanding. He has indeed accomplished that. I understand his culture very well, and I know how it's incompatible with mine. When you can't trust the ones who took an oath to protect and serve, society deteriorates at a rapid pace. Now, he was working for who again? Toronto Police. Okay. 1 second. What is the text of the oath Toronto police officers swear? And I will bring this window over to you guys so that you can see it. And we'll go through it together. From the Brave AI. So, I know a lot of people are getting more and more concerned that AI is a bit off, so take this with a grain of salt. But the text of the oath for Toronto police officers is governed by Ontario Regulation 416/23 Oaths and Affirmations made under the Community Safety and Policing Act 2019. The official oath of office is as follows. I solemnly swear or affirm that I will uphold the laws of Ontario and Canada, including the Constitution of Canada, which recognizes and affirms Aboriginal and treaty rights of Indigenous peoples, and that I will, to the best of my ability, discharge my duties as a police officer, First Nation officer, or a special constable, as applicable, faithfully, impartially, and according to law. They must also take an oath of secrecy. I solemnly swear that I will not disclose any information obtained by or made available to me in the course of my duties as a whatever, and that includes auxiliary members of a police service, except as I may be authorized or required by law. For those choosing to swear rather than affirm, the phrase "so help me God" is included at the end of each oath. Where does the phrase "protect and serve" appear in these vows? The phrase "protect and serve" does not appear in the official oath of office or oath of secrecy sworn by TPS. The current oaths mandated by Ontario regulation. While "to protect and serve" is a famous motto associated with the LAPD and is often used colloquially to describe policing in general, it is not part of the statutory text recited by officers in Toronto or elsewhere in Ontario. Yeah, they don't actually swear to that. It's kind of like the whole Hippocratic Oath myth with doctors. They don't actually swear to do no harm first anymore, which, you know, is part of the reason it's possible to be a maid consultant. Well, you'd have to have no morals either way, but yeah. So, the last dickheads are also, or the last story in the Thus Always to Dickheads section does still have to deal with police, but it's a little more balanced. New South Yorkshire Police have launched an investigation into its officers as a social media clip showing them using tasers, batons, and punching teenage girls in the face goes viral. A Force spokesperson said the short clip on social media of the police response to an incident in Rotherham over the weekend appears nothing short of shocking. There's a taser involved. Shocking kind of goes without saying. And this apparently comes from an Antifa Public Watch official. So we know the person at least distributing the video has an agenda. Now, I'm going to point a few things out here, and they're going to be distasteful, and they're probably going to make some of you think, oh, he's a bit of a bootlicker. No. The truth.
Go on, you man! No, you won't be dispersed for the breach of the peace. Right, we got lots of money, don't we? Just stop swearing and get moving.
Now, breach of the peace, he's basically dissipating a crowd. Now, that shove that he just did, not on this girl, but on the girl who went out of shot, was that a response to something? Notice her hand is coming up. Now, he shoves her out of shot, so we don't know exactly what was going on there. She may have been reaching for something on his equipment vest. We can't really tell because there's a block here. We can't see. We do know two things. One, it's really stupid to argue with a police officer in the middle of their job. That's what courts are for. Two, we know this guy is way bigger than any of these little things. So, the shove might be justified. I'm willing to give that. It might be justified. What happens next? It's kind of harder to justify on either side. Watch this girl in the dress and this girl in, I assume that's a halter top. She literally just hit the police officer. Sorry. You know, do the crime, do the time. I think she went to shove him or something. We're going to watch this girl with the black hair again. Okay, so keep an eye on this girl. And her friend is already putting an arm across her to restrain her for some fashion. Yeah, this one's already struck him. Quiet, you. So watch the girl in the white dress here. Now, she's already put her hand on the cop. Granted, it was a weak shove. Still, regulations being what regulations are, and the law being the law. What the police officer does next is legal, but not just. Oh. Now, when he pushed her back, why would she respond with aggression? Is it because nobody respects the police? Gee, why would that be? Now, she squares up with the cop. That's really fucking stupid.
Why is he squaring up to him?
And they've started throwing swings at the cops. Granted, whipping out a baton at that point is really fucking stupid. I'm really hoping the police officer expected them to bolt and didn't expect that he'd have to use it, but yeah, we'll come back and we'll watch a bit more of it.
Yo, what's he doing? Yo, was he mad?
Okay, at this point, the right thing for the cop to do with this girl was to grab her, put her in cuffs, and put her in the car. Not to keep at all. He should have grabbed her, passed her to his coworker, or whatever, and simply, okay, you're going. Simple as that.
Why is he squaring up to him?
Now, what he's doing here, this is way beyond the payoff. But she's not helping her case, and this is a different girl in a white dress. Yeah. This is fucking stupid. Don't do this shit.
Yo, what are they doing?
And then there's this genius. Decides the right thing to do in the middle of a melee is to pull out a ranged weapon. A taser. Yeah. This goes from retarded to fucking idiotic in very short order. This guy is throwing punches. Let me just back up so we can see this guy again.
Yo, what are they doing?
This fella right here. Now, granted, she came in at him, and he punched her. Stop throwing punches. Police officers don't need to throw distractionary strikes aside. If someone takes a swing at you, and you're a cop, you don't need to throw a swing back. That's what grappling techniques are for. Joint locks, control holds. How the fuck do you people not know this shit? This is where I started to wonder if maybe these guys weren't some sort of reservist or auxiliary or something. Or trainees even. And then this guy starts threatening the camera guy. Why? Camera guy's not involved. You have bigger things to concern yourself with. If one of those girls gets injured, you will get sued. Your job should be backing him up. And this is bouncer protocol. Hey, one of our guys is in a scrap. Okay, let's turn our back to the scrap and pay attention to the people who aren't fighting. Are you fucking retarded? What you do is you get the people fighting under control immediately. That should be your first fucking priority. So when that first girl threw a punch or shoved or whatever, that's the one with the black hair that I talked about first. She should have been grabbed, passed behind, told to be put in cuffs. Right there. Because then it's the first person who caused a problem. But instead, because for whatever reason, these big guys, maybe it's an arrogance thing, maybe it's that they've never been punched by anybody before thing, I don't know, but to be a bouncer, you have to be able to take a punch. The best way to take a punch is to make sure you don't get punched a second time, and that's where joint locks, grapples, control holds, that's where all that stuff comes in. You don't hire a bouncer because they can throw punches. You hire a bouncer because they can control themselves and other people. That, at the very least, should be the reason you hire a police officer. Didger is in, I believe. Looks like. Let me get rid of my pinned comment. Didger, they don't mind getting rough with white people, do they? That's... yeah, I think that's partially tangential to this as well. It may very well be that they're so frustrated, and this could be something coming from their administration. They may very well be being told by their administration to handle the Browns as gently as possible for the sake of racial cohesion or community tension relief or whatever. That they're frustrated that they can't do their jobs. So then when they have an opportunity to do their job, they overdo it. This is extreme overreaction from police force. The women aren't the brightest, but do you think they handle rapists and murderers like this? I doubt it. For example, the little one in the white dress that posted up on the cop, I'm relatively sure the Muslims or the Browns would just give her a quick one, and she'd be out cold. Let's also hi. But yeah, this is just retarded. Right? And the young fellows are the ones just standing by watching us. Okay, gentlemen, you with the camera, you with your buddies. When you see your people acting fucking stupid, step in and stop them. That is your job. Your job is to protect your women, your people. If you're not going to do that, yes, even against the cops who are from your own people, because the moment they put on a uniform, they cease to be part of your tribe. This should not be hard to understand. Friggin' wrist. Okay. The girls are in the wrong. The cops are definitely in the wrong. Deploying tasers against little girls? Really? You fucking pussy. That strikes me as the kind of guy who puts on a uniform as armor. Because he's afraid. If you're scared to do your job, you should not be a cop. If you're not capable of doing your job, and part of your job is not violent enforcement of the law, it's the ability to accept that you will face violence in the process of enforcing the law, and not to respond with unnecessary violence in return. Failed. Right here, that's absolutely failed. Yeah, there's I did say, and somebody to respond, yeah, there's an issue or two to be dealt with here. Definitely overreaction from the police, but look at the behavior of the girls. At least one actively assaulted a police officer. And that was only watching this on full speed, just quickly watching through it. And little did I realize there were 4 different girls that assaulted the police there. Drawing that baton was an hysterical overreaction to a very low-risk situation. What if one of the girls had a gun in their purse? I know it's extremely unlikely, but what if? I mean, these are the things. If we're going to be fair, we have to be honest. Potentials exist. Right? Born from the weakness of very poor training, yes. And wholly unsuitable selection of police officers, abso-fucking-lutely. The psychological profiling that they're doing for these cops seems to be, are you servile? The last thing you want from a sheepdog is for it to obey the sheep. Or the wolf. Most police in the world would have managed that situation far more professionally. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. Once, yes, maybe I would have. Now, no. No. Most police forces, especially in the West, actually, depending on the police force and depending on where, since you said police in the world, it's not out of the realm of possibility that some police forces would have simply drawn and shot. In Singapore, those girls would probably get caned. From John Walton. Another week, another... Oh, no, sorry. Let me scroll back a little bit. Another week, another video of brutal police violence. Yet again, police officers remain on active duty while management uses bureaucracy to stall. Striking underage girls isn't policing, it's criminals. Hang on. Fuck, I hate that I have to say this. The one officer was defending himself up until the point that he took it too far. And he wasn't defending himself effectively. That's one of the things we need to bear in mind. The efficacy of his method of defending himself was terrible. What he chose to do was very poor. Instead of, as I've said over and over, grabbing the one girl that assaulted him first and going, okay, you're going in cuffs. Instead of doing that with the first girl, which would have explained the situation very rapidly to the other girls, assuming they were sober, who knows? These girls might have been plied by somebody with alcohol and drugs before the police showed up. We don't know. Yeah, Didger's right. That cop could have picked her up. Ideally, that cop could have picked her up and walked away with her. But maybe he's weak. He's certainly weak-minded. He doesn't seem to have the temperament to be a cop. I wouldn't have him as a bouncer when I was working as a bouncer. He just wanted to beat them up. That's possible too. He just wanted to vent his frustration. Right? I mean, everybody is hating on the cops over there right now. And it's not a surprise why. I mean, when you look at that Toronto Police Service story I just covered. That Farhan Ali guy. I would absolutely be completely understanding if people in Canada started hating on the cops. Good thing they hadn't been stabbed, or the cops would have just handcuffed them. It's true. It's very hard not to look back angrily at that. This was in Rotherham. You can see from this why Rotherham police cooperate with the rape gangs. This is what they think of white female children. If you don't raise good daughters, they will find themselves in situations like this. Matter of fact, if I recall correctly, right at the beginning of this video, there's a bunch of girls who just nope the fuck out. Like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 girls here. This one is already noping the fuck out. I'm going to mute this time, so we don't have to listen to this again. And I believe the girl here, I think she's wearing blue, but that might just be a reflection of the light. She appears to have noped out as well. And it's really down to... See, this one's noping out. Or she was. See... Keep your hands to yourself. Yeah. Let's see. Nick says, British police, nobody respects us anymore. What can we do to change this? Can't think of anything. Let's give them more reasons to hate us, yeah. Muslims on horseback chasing people down, police on camera, shrugging their shoulders and saying, what do you want me to do about it? Yeah. White girl gets a little feisty and out come the punches and batons. Yeah, I've never been ACAB, but fuck me, I am now. Yeah, I'm not ACAB, but, you know, if I was talking to the average leftist, it would basically go like this. You want to defund the police because you think all cops are bastards. I want to defund the police because I don't think we fucking need them to police our own communities. We are not the same. Speaking of Giancarlo Esposito, fuck that guy. Talked all kinds of mad shit and then converted to Islam. Yeah, you also had to bear in mind this is the Rotherham police, so disgraced constabulary is not even close to an overstatement. For assisting, protecting, and employing armies, yeah. Attitude of the police, yeah. This is the thing. The attitude of the police, if you're wondering why they dropped girls off at known grooming addresses and said, have fun with her. Now, that happened once. At least, that's all we know of. But the attitude of police is always going to be, we protect ourselves first, the community second. That thin blue line exists for a reason. It's not just a code of silence for the police officers to protect each other. It's a code of conduct for the police officers. Most modern Western police forces operate in essence like a paramilitary unit, where it's unit cohesion that matters first, and then everything else matters, their duties, etc. Yeah. Gary Crest. Yes, first off, fuck Antifa. Second, the police in the UK are so weak and feminine, none of this is shocking. I can point my finger at any man in America, and they can take out that entire squad of pansy-ass cops. James Lindsay. Sick James Lindsay on him with his bagwag tag dough or whatever the fuck martial art he calls that. They're definitely the kind of cops who would definitely try to prevent these young white girls from being raped and trafficked, though. Definitely. Yeah, yeah. No excuse for police behavior. I wasn't excusing it. I'm offering potential explanations. Yeah, and there's another reason for this, too, curious. Yet the police bow down to Pakistani pedophile rapists. Absolutely disgraceful. The reason the police bow to those people is because if they grab one, the entire community does what a community should and fucking mob fucks the cop. They practice social community cohesion, something our people should be doing. July is like fucking History Month. Right? Soy boys, yeah. Yeah, we know about this. Lou Kelly simply says, my God. Yeah. South Yorkshire Police, any evidence will disappear. Those girls don't even look old enough to be out. It's daylight. Oh, wait, I'm Gen X. Sorry. They're obviously targets. Okay. Oh, sorry. I fucked up. This is actually Base Japan now. Okay, first up in Base Japan, possibly only up in Base Japan. Nope, we have at least two stories. So, from Haruka Awake, woke leftist logic is seriously amazing. They tell us Japanese that the West is evil. Yeah, the whole World Cup thing is fucking doing a number on the anti-American propaganda. But at the same time, want us to copy the worst parts of it. How does that make sense? The West is evil. Okay, we won't be like the West. No, you need to be woke like the West. So you want us to be more Western. No, the West is evil. Yeah. It do be like that. And the other story for Base Japan today is from, it says Ozaki Yu here, it says Ui Ui. I'm going to go with Ui Ui. Two Muslims, the Japanese people are about to lose their patience with the noble cause of protecting the future of the Japanese people. We are prepared to close off the country, leaving only the Japanese behind. I mean, they've done it before. Even if we are called inhumane, so be it. We cannot allow the Japanese people to become a minority in their own homeland, rather than feeling unwelcome and restricted in our own country. It is better to expel everyone right now, even if we are hated for it. Let's return everything to a blank slate. No. Please just go back home. Yeah, they won't leave willingly. The gentlest way to do it is to encourage them to remigrate themselves by cutting off their benefits and offering them tickets home. Or you could always take the Irish approach. Yeah. Hamza Yusuf. Eric Jensen, we need to use science, logic, and reasoning. Yes, because that'll work on religious fanaticisms. We need to use history. In early Islam, they erased polytheism in the Kaaba. Islam shows intolerance and disrespect. Shinto is polytheistic, and they will disrupt Japanese culture because in Islam, Shinto is haram, shirk, and sinful. Islam is not progressive. Islam is not secular. The foundations of Islam are not compatible with modern civilizations. Not in the West, not in Japan. No, and this fella's right. Stab Avery. He's right. Nobody would blame you at all. Not at all. It would be disappointing because I do want to visit Japan at some point. You will not be heeded for this by me, says Trump Girl. This is common sense, and I wish all countries would do the same. Okay. This is why women don't belong in politics. All she has heard is get out, not we're going to close the doors to everybody. You know, isolationism, it's not a great idea, but it's an option. Okay, moving over to the clown section. I mean the clown show. I mean the comment section. First up, from the NAACP president, Janai Nelson. Black people founded this country. Which one? Liberia? It's a short clip, so we'll watch it.
Thinking about all the ways that black people are the real founders of this country and all that we've done to produce this multiracial democracy.
Oh yes, your wonderful multiracial democracy. Yeah. Yep. Sorry, sweetheart, it was the Jews, according to Mike Huckabee, anyway. Yeah. Let them fight. If whites accept the moral premise of integration, they must accept what this woman is saying. Eventually, as the U.S. is thoroughly diversified, this idea will become official. Yeah, Dr. Ricardo Duchesne is a parody account, by the way. Or seems to be most of the time. Being brought in as farm equipment doesn't equate to being the founders of the country. Simple. Right? It would be the same as me, as a Newfoundlander, saying that my people were the founding stock of Canada. We fucking weren't. We didn't join Canada until 1949. But it would also flip that over. It would be the same as some Cree in Alberta saying that he was a founder of modern Canada, including Newfoundland. Listen for the click. Right? It just doesn't work that way. Yeah, blacks built the whole world. They overlooked one thing, Africa. Yeah. That's so funny, I can't breathe. America celebrates Juneteenth, the day Republicans freed all the Democrats' slaves. Yeah. Yeah. $2,000 years ago, about an hour ago, yeah. Yeah, you're telling me black people built Europe and America, but still haven't built Africa. Yeah. Okay, were you brought here and exploited as slaves, or were you the real founders of this country? Make up your tiny mind. For the record, if you don't remember who these gentlemen are, these are the two white supremacist MAGA guys who beat up Jussie Smollett and put a shoelace around his neck. Without ever once knocking his Subway sandwich out of his hands. Oh, and they poured bleach on him too, I forgot that. West D. Bound is in, says, shit, we was the founding Negroes. Yeah, not so much. Yeah. I do love this shot of Scott. Yeah. NAACP is a racist hate group, no shit. Yeah, the Pilgrims on the Mayflower, as presented by Disney Plus, or Netflix, or Christopher Nolan. Yeah. This is you without Whitey, yep. Yeah. Poor Malcolm. Poor Martin Luther King Jr. When you realize your people were, in fact, being judged by the content of their character all along. Yep. Oh. Accidental overclick. Moving on. from Rothmus, I believe. Yes. The left just normalized so much insanity that basic self-preservation now gets called far-right extremism. Decades of open borders and failed assimilation delivered parallel societies, welfare strain, and crime spikes in city after city. Green fanaticism delivered energy poverty and deindustrialization while virtue signaling. Woke ideology delivered confused kids, erased women, and attacks on national identity. And the result is voters across France, Germany, Italy, Poland, the UK, and beyond are backing the parties the media smears as far right. I don't know that I have it in my lols section, but it made me laugh. Since the, I guess, defunding of USAID, there have been 7 elections in South America. All 7 of them went to the far right. Excuse me, I had to burp. Yeah. Let's see. Those parties are simply saying what was common sense centrist a generation ago. Secure borders, citizens first, affordable energy, law and order, protect the children, preserve your culture. The Overton window got dragged so far left that reality, sanity, and common sense now look radical. Yeah, Europeans are becoming more and more right-wing. This is the only bit of good news for me, as my country appears to be being dragged into the EU. Is that we might actually be the most right-wing country in the EU when we join it. Yeah. So the dark blue is far right. Hi. And the darkest red is left-wing far left. You can see the share is dropping. What's the green? Oh, greens, of course. Yeah, the Greens in the UK and the Greens in Canada don't actually share much. The Greens in the UK appear to be an Islamist party now. At least to my eye. Maybe I'm wrong. What is this one? Poland. Okay. I'm going to point something out here. What Poland considers center-right would quite probably be considered hard-line fundamentalist Christian conservative far-right in Canada. So, yeah, this might be a case of relativity. Relativity. There we go. Yep, from Kohakuototo. Terrible with Japanese names. The same thing is happening in Japan too, and a political party that simply stood up for the benefit of Japanese people is being called far right. What a terrible error it has become. Yeah, it has become, sorry. This is the political spectrum in a nutshell now. Wants white people extinct, would prefer white people go extinct, doesn't care if white people go extinct, doesn't want whites to go extinct. Yeah. And just because it's there, and it's a decent meme, there you go. I figured I might as well demonstrate the use of the hashtag down below me here. People don't actually... Yeah, I love this because in the first half I was getting mad, but... Yeah, in the first clause, the first sentence, I was getting mad. People don't realize what actually happens when the illegal population is gone. Sounds like a lefty opener. However, suddenly Americans start getting real raises again, hospitals stop drowning in overcrowded ERs, schools breathe, class sizes finally return to something sane, insurance bills drop instead of climbing every year, young families can actually buy homes, grocery prices level out because the welfare load isn't crushing the system anymore, DMV lines start moving. Traffic lightens, neighborhoods calm down. Crime stats shift in the right direction for the first time in decades. Organ transplant lists move faster. Teenagers get the jobs they used to get before cheap illegal labor replaced them. Trade programs fill with American kids who can actually earn a living again. And people start having families because the cost of living isn't strangling them. You remove the illegal burden and the country snaps back into shape almost overnight. Yeah. See, one of the things our... for lack of a better word, elites don't seem to understand is that if you freak out and replace the native population, you are not only designing your own replacements, which is exactly what will happen because they brought in so many Muslims and Indians who don't share their values, or Canadian values in general. I don't give a fuck what Mark Carney said. Oh, Muslim values are Canadian values. Eat a dick, Mark. I don't give a shit about that. But what happens is, when the bubble, the population bubble of the boomers finally, passes through when the day of the pillow happens, for lack of a better term, then everyone behind that suddenly goes, shit, now we have a labor shortage. And what happens when you have a labor shortage? Corporations have to pay their employees more money, and that means they take a little bit of a hit to their profits. Sure. But those now more prosperous people can suddenly start having kids. Their kids will have kids. And your problem goes away because your boop of the baby boom is gone. And now all that burden, all that tax burden, that taking care of the older folks, because we have a socialized healthcare system, all that tax burden is now gone. Which means now government can actually afford to fix roads, build bridges, provide actual health care rather than killing their own citizens to save money. Yeah. From Right Side and Free, the suicidal empathy era in Europe may just be coming to an end. No shit. A lot of it thanks to free speech here on X. It's not just free speech. It's the same thing I've said over and over. The fact that when the auto-translation for Japan started to happen, everybody in the West started to realize, oh shit, Japan is fighting the same battle we are. Then we realized this is not limited just to Western countries. Anywhere that's prosperous and has a weakening economy and a lefty government is being told, hey, in order to keep the GDP, in other words, so that your elected elites can maintain their standard of living, we're going to bring in more people from other countries who will work for less money so we can extort more taxes from you to support them while they build a life for themselves here, even though they're replacing you and will eventually replace us. The law of unintended fucking consequences strikes again. Yeah, we're going to do all that just so that we can maintain our standard of living as the new aristocracy. Fucking cunts. Eat cake. Sweden passes a law allowing migrants to be deported for non-criminal bad behavior. Good. Yeah, that includes things like not filing your taxes or not paying your taxes, shit like that. Then versus now. France and the UK then. I will dominate the world. No, I will dominate the world. France and the UK today. We will take in 300,000 migrants. No, we will. Yeah. Race to the bottom. Yeah. Who the progressives think they are. Who the progressives actually are. Yeah. Let's see. Grok Slow. There's a new one for me. One calls you a racist. Call them a pedophile. When they deny, just tell them that's what every pedophile always says. Fight fire with fire. Far right equals right so far. What's this? A racist is a person who wins an argument with a liberal. A bigot is a person who wins an argument. Yeah, okay, so kind of bit of a theme there, yeah. It's a good meme, though. I'll throw you a like for that. I do love that there's a Pepe in there now. I'm going to repost that one. Let's see, what do we got? Why are you so far right politically? I'm just a normal person from 95. I grew up in the 90s. You need to go back a little further. Like the 50s. Late 50s, early 60s. Before the free love bullshit and the pill. That was a big problem. Common sense, let's all have some. What's this one? Replacement theory is a vast right-wing conspiracy. Diversity is our strength. There are too many white people. You're a racist if you object to being replaced in your own homeland. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Jumped. Oh, no. Yep, there we are. I have an apology to offer shortly. Let me see. From Colin Rugg. Canadian police chief forced to make a video statement after his officers started running the plates of attractive women coming out of coffee shops and gyms. No, I'm not fucking kidding. This is happening in Canada. In Ottawa. Ottawa Police Chief Eric Stubbs is calling on officers who use police databases to meet women to quit doing it. Is there a particular demographic common to the officers that are a problem in this area? Stubbs says these officers are turning police databases into their own way to meet women. We've seen members messaging vulnerable victims on calls that they've attended in an attempt to develop an intimate relationship. Despite the accusations, Stubbs says the police force has committed to hiring enough women so that females make up 30% of the workforce. That won't fix the problem. Okay, this is only 37 seconds. We'll let him talk here. And yeah, my only response was, Jesus fucking Christ. What are the names of the officers? Yeah. Did anybody actually respond to her? There's a pattern. All of them are men. Thank you, misandrist. Oh, we know the answer. If they were old stock Canadians, they would have been immediately fired and their names would be published. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Carter. For your information, accessing CPIC without reason or authorization is 10 years. We'll know what their ethnicity is based on what they get. Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it. What are their names? Also, stop hitting women. Yeah. Okay, let's listen to Mr. Stubbs here.
Members are you want to.
I need to make that just a little louder.
I want to have a serious and an uncomfortable conversation with all of you. Change your behavior now.
Why is this public? Why is this not a case of locker room sorting it out? The guys who are doing that, you know who they are because obviously you can see who's accessing CPIC for what purpose. Walk into the locker room and kick the fucking teeth out of their throat if you have to. Give them a fucking good one. Brace them up. Handle it like men. Grab the guy by the shirt, put him up against the wall and go, don't fucking do that. It's not that hard. Okay, maybe it's a little easier for me given how I'm built, but still, it's not that hard. 3 or 4 guys walking into the locker room, leaning over the guy and going, listen, you need to stop this shit or we're going to kick the shit out of you the next time we catch you. If that doesn't do the job, kick the shit out of him the next time you catch him. If that doesn't do the job, fire him and say he was a bad fucking cop. Done. Blacklist the shit out of him.
Now, or quit. Leave. Members are using our databases as their own way to meet women. Seeing a woman at a coffee shop, coming out of a gym, driving next to them, getting their license plates, and running them on the system. We've seen members messaging vulnerable victims on calls that they've attended in an attempt to develop an intimate relationship. There's a clear need for OPS.
Okay. You're a cop, and you're called to an incident. And the victim is an attractive woman. I can understand having the urge to make contact. I can understand the urge. Red-blooded, healthy male. Sure. But at what point do you give your base desires power over your higher cognition to the point that you jeopardize your own job? You know, the thing that might actually make you attractive to her as a mate? Are you obviously. Some civilizations are not compatible. End of story. Hiring. Bloody swipe. Oh, wait. Oh, stop hiring women. Oh, okay. Swipe type. West D-Bound says, they're sending so many of those animals here too. GETTR are incompatible with our country. Yes. If you're not from Western civilization, you are not compatible with Western civilization by and large. I'll give the Japanese a pass because, fuck, it does seem like they are as white adjacent as anybody gets. Excuse me. Let's have a look here. The void anus. Let's. Trump broke my vagina. I don't doubt it. The chocolate starfish at the end of the universe. How many followers? You need at least one more follower. Fuck it, I'll throw you one. Let's see. I'm sure we know the names. We don't need to know the names. They all start with, yeah, they're all some form of Medi. I think we all know where this is going. Don't know their names, but here's a recent photo. So they are recruiting police officers in Saskatchewan using Punjabi police officers speaking in Punjabi to recruit in Canada. Yeah, that's when an Indian goes on a walk with his dog. Yeah, like an Indian could train a dog to clean up after himself. They just want to see Bob and Vagine. Yeah. I don't know that there's any truth to this, so I won't repeat it. But yeah, we definitely should have the names. For science, yes, that's it. We need to stop women from driving like in Saudi Arabia. You know they can drive in Saudi Arabia now, right? Giving them badges is insanity. Yes, you should not allow an outsider to police your people in your homeland. Right? Not unless, again, they are a massive exception to the general rule. Some Singhs, Patels, you don't know that they're Muslims. Yeah. Also, you can get Patels named Patel, by the way. Or you can get Muslims named Patel. Okay. Here's the apology I need to issue. So I reposted this. And rightly so, because I was convinced that this was real. It's AI. And if you can't tell yet, you will shortly, because I'll show you what the problem is. Melanie Jolie leads Canada's trade mission to China. 1 blue dress, 7 suits, and 0 actual deals. Except the problem is... Let's open this link in a new tab. Oh, actually, it wasn't the link. It's the image I need to open in a new tab. There we are. And we will zoom way in. And, I mean, up here it looks mostly okay. Right? Looks fairly simple. And then we'll take a look at the hands. Yeah. That's not quite right. I mean... This guy got a fingernail on the back of his pinky, which is way longer than it should be. And I'm not sure what kind of weird tumor Melanie Jolie is sporting here on her hand. So yeah, not real. But, given the current state of female politicians, hard to say it wasn't, until you actually investigate. So I did... I saw the community note, image is not from Jolie's trip, and appears AI generated. It actually was. I did ask Grok... is this image real or AI generated? If AI generated, please point to how the average person would tell. And here it responds, the image appears AI generated, as the community note correctly flags. It doesn't match any official photos from the 2026 trade mission, where she wore formal business attire during meetings, talking about the EVs. Modern AI images are often nearly indistinguishable from real ones by eye alone. Average person checks. Fine details such as the hands or fingers, which is what we spotted, teeth, eyes, hair, they often look slightly off or blended unnaturally. Lighting or shadows can be inconsistent with the scene. I mean, the lighting there looks really good. Nothing inconsistent there that I can tell. Context mismatch. Reverse search the image or check official sources. This one has the hallmarks of a staged composite. Yeah. And... yeah, my response after that was fucking hell. Yeah, so I do apologize to anybody who actually thought that was real, because I thought it was real. And yeah, it is what it is. Okay, from Landor. So we're back to the UK. I know this will come across as insensitive, but we need a real conversation about frontline female police officers in... I'm not sure what infanteers is. She shot a civilian and then ran away when the gunman came at her. She abandoned her injured partner. This is similar to what happened with female officers at the Bondi Beach massacre. Everyone has a fight or flight, but can we at least inquire as to whether women are more prone to flight? They are. Evolutionarily. Obviously. Because if so, it's exceptionally dangerous to civilians and other officers. Now, this is from the recent shooting in Montreal. I'm not going to touch the actual manifesto, the motives behind the shooting, the suspect. There are so many things to question about it that I don't want to offer an opinion and be wrong. This is a slice of that. Here's shooting. This officer is hit. Now he's down. Not sure where he was hit. Obviously, I would think not in the head. He does manage to pull himself to cover behind the Porsche. Now, we have this fella here, and this is the female officer. This guy here is a rabbi, and he's under fire. This is a Jewish district in Montreal, where the shooter, who's apparently from Alberta, decided to go to execute his anti-woman, pro-communism stance. This is all, as I said, nebulous information. Take it all with a grain of salt. But what we're about to see is not nebulous by any means. This guy while under fire from somebody who sounds like they're firing something, I would say, akin to at least a 223, so a rifle, and has already shot a cop. Also, he doesn't look like he's doing really well. I think at least one police officer was killed. It may very well have been this gentleman. But in the meantime, this guy gets up and walked around. Yeah, stood up straight and calmly walked around. So, of course, the police officer who's looking this way, and he's just in her peripheral vision, while she's taking fire, he comes around, obviously spooks her. She swings, bang. Granted. Unfortunate. But again, to be fair, I don't know that I wouldn't have shot the guy in that situation. It does appear to have been a rabbi. The rabbi has a very strange sense of self-preservation. Personally, I would not have been approaching a police officer under fire. I would have been around that corner and running head down Broken Field style as much as I could, with as much of my body leaned forward to minimize my target imprint, or whatever the term is. Target profile. There you go. The worst part here is what she does. Well, no, shooting a civilian's pretty bad too. But then she does this. The shooter is advancing on her position. Her partner is down. She's just shot a civilian. What does she do? Here comes the shooter. She looks up. She sees him, doesn't fire, and fucking books it?
That cop's gone.
Right. Now you've got the shooter with a potentially injured civilian and an injured police officer. And he's intentionally committing a mass murder event. Bang, bang. 2 more dead people. Also, who the fuck wears... That almost looks like a forces uniform. Like he's almost in camo, and that almost says Canadian flag badge to me. Why would you do that in the middle of a city? See, I'm rapidly approaching the false flag, this guy's a nut job who someone convinced to do this opinion. I can't confirm it yet. I don't have evidence to back it up, but that's on the summary of everything that I've seen and heard about this. That's where I'm coming from. Let's see. Fire her immediately, investigate charges again. Oh, she should absolutely be charged. She shot a fucking civilian.
He's there, Mick.
And, for the record, as far as I understand, the civilian she shot did die. Now, whether it was the shooter who killed him, or whether it was her shot that did, we don't know. If it turns out that his injury was life-threatening but treatable, then she has definitely a likelihood of being charged with criminal negligence causing death, because she abandoned him. Abrogated her duty. At least it was a rabbit shot and not another white person. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not going to celebrate somebody dying just because we don't like them. Don't do that. We're better than that. Now, I'm going to assume he just got hit, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, moving on. Another example would be the Manchester Airport brawl. The women, once hit, were rendered largely ineffective. Yes. I felt quite awful seeing the female officer with broken nose crying, but still. Yeah, that's another good reason not to let them do that job, because they're not capable of it, and they can't handle the repercussions of it. Listen to the gunshot. Clearly the shooter shot the civilian. Sounds like the same gun. Maybe? Yeah. Imagine being a cop, someone is committing a mass shooting, and this is your response to them pointing a gun at you. Women shouldn't be police officers. True. What about Uvalde? Yeah. Cowardice is bad no matter who practices it. Footage from another angle. The male police officer and the civilian didn't survive. It looks like she shot the civilian, but it sounds like it was the attacker's rifle, not her pistol. The gunman is now dead too. Female officer was injured and in critical condition, but is now stable. So he did manage to hit her as she was running away, I would assume. Okay, let's see if we can get...
Why is he walking? Why is he...
Idiots with no survival instinct walking into an active fucking shooting.
Walking.
God, that voice.
What is wrong with him?
And that's the shooter. He just rolled right by that old guy. But supposedly he showed up in Montreal to shoot people. Just rolled right by this guy. How come? There is so much about this situation that doesn't make any fucking sense. Now here's the female officer, and I guess her partner, rolling behind the,
Guys,
the block there, the planter.
What the fuck? They're just shooting the cops. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's hit pretty bad.
Oh my god, oh my...
Okay, yeah. You cannot tell me that the shooter shot that guy. Now, we're going to come back to here, and I'm going to advance it. Can I advance it frame by frame? I cannot. I'm going to have to try to do my best with the mouse and rolling the wheel. So, this is the rabbi who gets shot. For the record, if you are in an active shooting area, and you don't want to get shot, and you're not the person doing the shooting or shooting back, if you have no duty to be there, and you wish to flee, you have every right to do that. I personally would far prefer to have a gun in my hand and help, but that's me. But the thing you don't do is stand up, fully erect, and just walk around, which is what this guy does. Stands up completely straight, and then crouches over and approaches the cop. Now, to be fair to the cop, again, the shooter is just up here, doing what she's doing, hiding behind a planter. For all she knows, that could be the shooter. Reaction times and comprehension under stress being what they are between male and female, but still, I'm going to say it. I don't know that I wouldn't have shot the guy in that exact situation. Right? And this is what happens. She sees him looming over her like a fucking moron. So she turns and fires. Yeah. There's a lot of blame to go around here. Right? And he goes down.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
And then the shooter comes running up.
Why?
He bypassed this guy. That's one of the things that's kind of throwing me. It seems more like the shooter was far from compos mentis. Yeah.
Is he walking?
When criminals have better muzzle awareness than cops, no. That's no. Bullshit, she did great. The civilian made a clear mistake. Bit from column A, bit from column 2. B, right? Like... What's Sam saying here? If you ever catch the eye of a female cop... Oh, this is going to be bad, isn't it? Hopefully it's funny.
If you ever catch the eye of a female cop... Hope you wore your bulletproof vest. Hope you got your vest on, man. I'm praying for you.
I mean, he's not fucking wrong. Right? Let's see. Go watch Chimp Empire. No. This also is largely caused by the fact that none of these countries actually have proportional sized responses. Oh, fuck off. Proportional response is bullshit. You should never expect somebody to respond proportionately to to someone attempting to do violence to them. The response should be overwhelming, brutal, and final. Speaking of things that should be responded to overwhelmingly, brutally, and finally, yeah, I'll read the caption here from Dwight Singh Schrute, who does not get a follow. After destroying the lakes in India, Hindus are now hell-bent on destroying Canadian waters. How low does your IQ have to be to do this? Yes, these scholars and engineers who are completely incapable of grasping the fact that India's rivers are so polluted because of these practices. Why? What's the fucking point? Why are you creating an effigy of your god and then destroying it by throwing it into water? If the act of immersing it in water, of sacrificing it to the water, is all you need to do, then once it's hit the water, you can fish it out and throw it away. It has become garbage. Your god is not going to mystically reach down from the heavens and scoop it out of the water. Fucking barbarians. Violently mad. Environment Canada. Yeah, like Environment Canada is going to do anything. Just because it might be biodegradable doesn't mean this shit is non-toxic. They're made in China out of plaster and lead paint. Yeah. You're not going to find a Hindu commenting that's wrong. Who are we? Immigrants from terrible places. Why are we here? We destroyed our own countries. What do we want? To wreck your country like we did ours. It certainly fucking seems that way. Yeah, where are the fucking environmentalists? Yeah. Because they're not actually environmentalists. In order to be an environmentalist, you must want to conserve something. If you say you want to conserve something, you will be accused of being a conservative. The moment you are accused of being a conservative, you are no longer allowed in the liberal tent, in the lefty tent. Yeah. Yeah, this is how they treat their holy river. Right? This is the Ganges. People are actually fucking swimming and playing in that shit. Jesus. So what? Pay some laborers to clean the river. What? You don't have money? You tell me you're an Indian without telling me you're an Indian. Right? Fucking idiot. Yeah. This is what Canadian rivers will look like in 10 years if this doesn't stop. Yep. Nearly 1 billion Indians have an IQ lower than a Western-educated gorilla. The Western-educated gorilla is a myth, for the record. Okay? The whole Coco could sign. Yeah, it's as bullshit as the Helen Keller knew how to suggest people should be socialists. Fucking shit. I need to download this because I need to show this to my mother. I have repeatedly described how this man stands like Monty Burns. God, that's fucking perfect. Let's see. Average IQ is 66 in Jeetland. Yeah, the average. Yeah, you have to bear in mind how stupid people have to be to haul that average down that far. When you see a river in Canada for the first time and nobody is shitting in it or throwing trash in it. Yeah. The Bajik community has become a cancer for Canada. Canadians must eliminate this cancer. Eradicate this cancer-like community as soon as possible. Where are you from, Daddy AA? Bet you're American. South Asia. You're fucking Indian. Fuck off. Days without a Pajit problem. Coming to Canada. Yep, it's already here. Lake Louise. Yeah. India becomes the latest nation to land on the moon. Yeah, how many more cavemen plan to do this? National park regulations. Willful littering in a Canadian national park can result in court summons and potential fines up to $25,000 in aggravated cases where ecological damage or wildlife hazards occur. Yeah, it's time to actually use our laws to protect our country. but there's no will to do that in Ottawa. Okay, last one in the clown show today, and I am running low on time. I thought I was going to be short today. The Regina Police Service has released a statement regarding the call to prayer at Regina's new downtown mosque. Let me see, blah, 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 blah. Based on information provided to the RPS, the request falls within bylaw requirements. Now, they've given them a what is it called? A permit. But it was a specific type of permit. A noise abatement permit, that's what it was. Or a permit under the noise abatement bylaw. Based on information provided to the RPS, the request falls within bylaw requirements. Yeah, because they'd never lie to the fucking infidels, would they? The current permit is in place until July 10th, which is going to be a great time to say, you know what, this was a bad idea, we're not giving you a permit again, because now you're amplifying the call to prayer. It doesn't need to be amplified. It doesn't need to be fucking heard in this country in the first place, but that's beside the point. The Regina Police Service is aware of threats being made in relation to this practice, and, in response, an enhanced police presence will be visible around Muslim places of gathering. Yeah, fuck the burning churches. Let's make sure nobody messes with this fucking Muslim speaker. Fuck. Threats will be taken seriously and investigated under recently enhanced Canadian hate crimes legislation. Bill C-9. Aren't you so glad it was fucking passed? What is a hate crime? According to new legislation, any criminal offense committed against a person or property, motivated in whole or part by the offender's bias, real or perceived. That's the part that's important. Prejudice or hate against an identifiable group. And my response. Real or perceived bias. So, as in the UK, the Regina police can just decide that you're being hateful or not, whether you actually are. Yeah. Heaven forbid you should do anything but protect the Browns in a white country. Speaking of, let's talk about Sajid Khan. Sajid Khan from Pakistan attempted to sexually abuse a 13-year-old white British girl. Was caught by British patriots in Birmingham. Sajid said, "I don't care, I have many friends in police and prison." The West Midlands Police closed the case as no further action.
Minors, okay?
I'm famous.
No, for all the wrong reasons. It's called infamous, not famous, infamous. There's a big difference. Because famous people, we'd want to go and meet them. You, I want to wipe you on the bottom of my foot. A prolific groomer of children.
Do you want to phone the police or not?
The police are coming.
I'm waiting for them. I've got nothing to say.
Right, okay, I'll start reading your chat logs then, okay?
Doesn't care.
How dare you say to me?
How dare you talk to a child in the way you've been speaking to us? We dare because we have the evidence to dare. If you have a problem with it, take it up with the police when they come. But they're going to go through your phone and our evidence, and they're going to have you bang 2 rights. And every person that you know around Birmingham, your family, your friends, back home, everywhere, are going to know about this.
Yeah, he doesn't care, because it's fine in his culture. Right? They will laugh at you until enough of them mysteriously disappear. I got a response to that. Totally unrelated, but the English have bogs, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, my reply to Deep Fried Tweaker was, dude. But seriously, a few mysterious disappearances could sort the whole problem out. Speaking of sorting out problems, I think that's what this one is. Yes. The Dominion Society of Canada. If you haven't considered joining them, by the way, they're on a push for 3,000. Where did I put my card? There it is. And before you ask, yes, I actually do. Is that it? No, that's my fucking scene card. There it is. I'm a member. Number 372. I'm in the first 400. They're pushing for 3,000 by July. So if you're interested in doing something good for your country, have a look at the Dominion Society. I'm not telling you to join, I'm telling you to look at them. That's it. Step 1. Yeah, from the Dominion Society. Our team cleaned up Royal City Park in Guelph. Good job. Step 1, clean up our communities. Step 2, clean up our nation. Before and after. It's a little bit of litter. It didn't take a lot of work, but, you know. Let's see. Get involved in your community. Yeah, get involved. Do something. That's another reason I'm pushing the hashtag July is White History Month. It's not just so that we can celebrate our history and our heritage. It's a call to action. I want people to do something to help their people. Fuck off, Charles. It's not the same picture. Free-range speculator. Yeah, okay, whatever, bud. Okay, are we in? We are, in fact, into July is White History Month. You and Tweaker are mutuals, eh? That's cool, Westy. Okay, so first up in July is White History Month, let's talk about why it's probably a bad idea to talk about this shit. Toronto Star. Ryan Garrettson. Oh, this is the only story I have for July is White History Month today. You can't hate the media enough in Canada. It's absolutely true. It's not you don't, it's you can't. The Toronto Star is now pushing the narrative that Father's Day is discriminatory. Do we need to outlaw Father's Day? In the past, some progressives have suggested that we get rid of Father's Day because it's discriminatory. Yeah, and others have suggested that you should celebrate the mother on Father's Day. What the fuck do you think the month before was? Yeah. Wasn't there a commandment about honoring your parents somewhere in the Bible where they actually separate the roles into father and mother? Yes, I'm being facetious. I know it's the 5th commandment. Yeah, written by an imported Marxist from India. So who wrote this? Doesn't say. Okay. We are witnessing the most corrupt Okay, well, we're not really worried about anti-American right now. Yeah, there's your author right there. Yeah. Okay. Moving over to the lulls. Let's have a few laughs and get out of here. Yeah, the comments on the... Yeah, I can't show you this right off the bat because I actually have to open it. This post violated the X rules. However, X has determined that it may be in the public's interest for the post to remain accessible. It definitely is. And it's nice to farm content from it. From Itamar Ben-Gavir. For every tear of an Israeli mother, 1,000 Lebanese mothers must weep. All of Lebanon must burn. With all due respect to the Americans, Israel must make it clear to the entire world that the blood of our sons and the security of our citizens are not forfeit. Excuse me. All of Lebanon must burn. Our supreme duty is to protect the citizens of Israel and the soldiers of the IDF. You don't protect your soldiers. Your soldiers are there to protect you, dumbass. And this commitment takes precedence over every other consideration. I told the Prime Minister, even in our private meetings, he's talking about Netanyahu, by the way, for every tear of an Israeli mother, 1,000 Lebanese mothers must weep. Even with the ping pong. In the Middle East, you don't win with measured responses and restraint. You need to go berserk, to obliterate, to crush the terror. And we wonder why the Muslims hate them so much? Really? This is their idea of a proportionate... No, of course it's not. Translating an Israeli tweet from Hebrew is like discovering a lost page of Mein Kampf. Yeah, we see you bombing all the Christians and the oldest churches on earth. Christians are not Hezbollah. Yep. Israel gets told no once and immediately starts anime antagonist monologuing. What are you, some sort of supervillain? You're going to go through life thinking that girls don't like you because you're a nerd, and I want you to know from the bottom of my heart that that won't be true. It'll be because you're an asshole. Yeah. You're bringing calamity upon your people. Oh, dear God, is that Randy Fine? No, it's Ben Gavir. Gah. How does any normie look at this and defend this kind of inanity? It's probably supposed to be insanity. You can't. Is this guy actually saying anything I can understand here? No, probably not. I appreciate your calm, measured response. Translate from Japanese, wholesome, polite. Translate from Spanish, soccer, playfully racist memes. Translate from Hebrew. Yeah. Yep. Oh, enough with the ping pong. Sorry, not even with the ping pong. The real face of the Zionist regime. Don't shoot the kid. Are you anti-Semitic? Yeah. And then one day, for no reason at all, yep. Enough, I will hear no more of this Hebrew nonsense. Yeah, after we stole their land and killed their children, they resisted. Fucking terrorists. Yeah. For every American tax dollar spent on Israel, 6 million Jews must weep. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, my. Yeah, I'm very sure any god worth his salt would despise anyone who said such things. Rolio Gemini Twin, 22 minutes ago, I don't know how long ago this actually was. Are Hebrew translations disabled on X right now? Yes, Hebrew translations are currently disabled on X to prevent the amplification of inflammatory or policy-violating content through literal renditions. Original posts remain visible and accessible to all users. Which means you can go in, scrape the Hebrew out, and plunk it into translate.google.com. Just saying. Jesus the bat canary? When you immediately prove you're the thing you're pretending to fight against. Yeah. Yeah, this is the proposal to J.D. Vance. This is Ben-Gvir again. To deal with the Nazis of the 21st century, just as the United States dealt with the Nazis of the 20th century. Yeah. Why do they persecute me so? Yeah. Okay. Let's laugh at my Prime Minister for a minute. Acting like a fucking gonad. It would be cute seeing your 5-year-old do this. Not exactly something you want to see from the Prime Minister. Yeah, this is gross. I don't know what this is when he turns. What is the purpose of this? Is that meant to be some sort of a bow? And then, yeah. Such a low fucking piece of shit. It's little wonder he said he thought his MPs were only good for votes. Not one of our Canadian politicians should be taken seriously, whether it's Mark Carney getting on like a child playing pretend, or Melanie Jolie showing up to high-level trade negotiations dressed like a barely high-class call girl. I did apologize for that earlier. And I'll change that now to, Chrystia Freeland picking her fucking toes in Parliament. Which is something that there's actual video footage of. No, you feet fetish weirdos, you stay away from that. Mark Carney is 5'9" and is substantially taller than most of those troops. I don't think Carney is actually 5'9". And I'm thinking these might be cadets. Mark Carney is reported to be approximately 5'9". Okay. Various sources. He played hockey at Harvard and Oxford. What kind of hockey did they play? I'm willing to bet it's field hockey, not ice hockey. No, it says ice hockey. Really? I'm just looking for an image of people playing ice hockey at Oxford. Okay, they actually do have a ice hockey team. He's 5'9" and built like that. Yeah. They certainly got rid of the enforcer rule for a reason, didn't they? Okay, let's have a quick scan through for meme. Yes. Yeah, cunt. Yes. Speaking of cunts, MPs are only useful for votes. Yeah, he did get busted saying that on a hot mic recently. Is that Carney's wife? Yeah, don't forget. Yeah. Do you know who this person is? Yeah. Then there's this. And I make no apologies whatsoever for the joke I made about this. This is Carnival Conquest passengers brawling at the port of Miami. I'm not going to bother to play any of it. You've seen enough. You know what it sounds like. My response. The irony of them putting themselves in chains trying to get on a ship is thick as fuck. Yeah. Why are they like this? Carnival to Bronx. Now offering Section 8 cabins. Jesus. Hard to believe nobody likes them. Yeah, Carnival cruises, but they don't come back. Yep. This meme is going to show up again and again and again. It's going to be an evergreen meme. Another fine contribution from the black community. Is it them again, Yogi? Yeah. Don't get too close, they might start flinging poop. Yeah, call for the zookeepers, the animals are loose again. Jesus, Spirit Cruise Lines. Oh, God. Coco is to blame for Coco's kids. Yeah, no. I wouldn't voluntarily go on a Carnival cruise line. Excuse me. For the same reasons I wouldn't voluntarily walk at night on the streets of the south or west sides of Chicago. Yep. It's true. Let's not jump to conclusions. Fuck off. Ship has sailed. Just saying. What are you just saying here? Can we ship them off to Liberia? Well. Okay. Let's flip over to some videos and then get out of here. I enjoyed this one.
Bringing a blue-collar man into a white-collar family is wild because nobody tells you about the culture shock. My family's idea of being prepared is having a calendar. His idea of being prepared? He's got jumper cables, a pocket knife, a flashlight, a backup flashlight, 3 ratchet straps, and enough equipment in his truck to survive a minor apocalypse. The first family vacation we all took together, my family packed outfits. My husband packed contingencies. We'd be like, we're headed to the beach. And he'd be like, well, what if somebody gets stranded? Now, my family thought this man's being dramatic until something happened.
Yeah, until something happened.
Flat tire, dead battery, broken chair, lost charger. And every single time this man would stand up slowly like Batman hearing the signal. Oh, I got something for that. Now my family doesn't even question it. If we're leaving the house and my husband says throw that in the truck just in case, okay, sir, yep. Because bringing a blue-collar man into a white-collar family is realizing that the smartest man in the room is the one who brought the zip ties.
It's a little kinky, but I'll allow it. Yeah. This is... I'm not sure how to think about this one. But I did find it interesting enough to want to share it. So we'll go with this one, no? This is the town where nobody remembers anything.
So this completely fake town has hundreds of residents living in it who have no idea their lives are a lie, but it's actually for a really heartwarming reason. It's a small village in the Netherlands called Hogeveen, and every person living there actually has severe dementia. Back in 2009, this group of Dutch researchers realized that traditional dementia care can be awful, just constantly giving patients medication, placing them in front of TVs, and basically ignoring them. So these researchers decided to come up with an experiment to focus not on patient containment, but empowering them to live meaningful lives again. Although Hogeveen is a closed community, it looks and feels just like any other town with a grocery store, a theater, a barbershop, and more. Since every cook, waiter, and employee all secretly have medical training, residents have the freedom to go as they please and actually live normal lives again. Everything is specifically designed for them. You don't have to pay money at the grocery store, and the elevators open on their own. Although some people have accused Hogeveen of lying to their patients, it's genuinely caused them to require fewer medications, live longer, and just feel happier. And because of just how successful this experiment was, it's now inspired other dementia villages all around the world. So this completely fake town has...
That's fucking cool. This is how a society should care for their elderly. I heard of this. It's actually very nice. Yeah, this is absolutely 100% how a society should take care of their handicapped elderly. Right? When they start to kind of lose themselves, take care of them. Don't basically put them out on a comfortable ice floe to die. Okay, this one is absolutely just for laughs. You know, when wildlife attacks you, sometimes the only solution is to attack it back. And ostrich is going after his motorcycle. What does he do? He fucks the ostrich up is what he does. Come here, you son of a bitch. Let me show you how we do it in hockey games. The ostrich is just noping the fuck right out of there, too. I'll watch that again. It's worth it.
Oh, if the army...
Just remember, kids, birds have hollow bones. That means they're significantly lighter than we are. Yeah. Okay, and you all know I have a love affair with the trebuchet, so this should come as no shock. I found a compilation of trebuchets.
3, 2, 1!
Fire. Fire is good. Didn't go all that far.
Dad, you ready?
This one kind of threw me for a waff. I couldn't tell how this was designed until it fell over. That is shockingly simple. And I mean shockingly simple. And yet effective. You imagine that's all you really need is a scrap, like a scrap yard, probably an hour, and some wood. Wow. And then there's big ones. Didn't even hit the caster. This one is cool. Got it right between the bales. If you've never heard of Punkin' Chunkin', I'm going to roll this back a little bit. If you've never heard of Punkin' Chunkin', this is a... Oops. Back it up a little more, make sure it doesn't start playing. Okay. If you've never heard of Punkin' Chunkin', it's a thing that Discovery Channel used to do. I don't know if they still do it. I haven't seen it in years, because I don't watch cable. Oh, wow, that's the whitest thing ever. What a great project. Right? I mean, the French used to be kind of based. That's why it's called a trebuchet. Yeah. But if you've never watched Punkin' Chunkin', which is, I believe it's a Thanksgiving thing in the U.S., it's basically a bunch of different means of propelling a pumpkin. I'm going to try to avoid calling it a pumpkin again. But propelling a pumpkin through the air using cannons. I think one of them had like a standard catapult, and then, of course, the trebuchet. And I've always loved watching the trebuchet ones because sometimes they fuck up completely and tear themselves to pieces, which is great as long as you're not right next to them. Yeah. But this one is from Punkin' Chunkin' from a while back, I think. And I just wanted to share it because it's fucking massive. That fucker is gone. And I yet again point out that we don't have to deport them using a plane. We could always just, use the one-way trebuchet. The side effect of which is the side benefit of using a one-way trebuchet for deportations is that it really fertilizes the area in front of the trebuchet. West liked it, yeah. Okay, folks. It is 4:08, so I'm not going to bother to do any gaming today. Sorry if you were all excited to see me playing Skyrim and mumbling to myself as I did it. I know GETTR loves it, but yeah. So I'm going to end this here. I do appreciate everybody being in chat. GETTR West... Oh, it's West Zero bound. Sorry, looking at that screen, it looks like a D. So it's westbound. I'll do my best not to refer to you as Westy any further. Because I thought I was saying West D. It's West Zero, so I do apologize. But thank you both for being here. If you would like to support me, you can like, share, comment, chat, follow, or subscribe depending on platform. If you choose to send me money through Ko-Fi on a monthly basis, or to subscribe on Rumble on a monthly basis, I will put your name in the ticker down below alongside Zenrab7 and Simon JJ. If you want to support me monthly but don't want your name in there, and there is one, I'll consider you part of the Orangutan Gang, because if you take a good long look at me, I do look a little bit like a silverback gorilla who's a bit paler than usual. I am, in fact, the orangutan. Let's see. Other than that, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you continue to have good days. GETTR says thanks for the stream. Cheers. Cheers. And as always, don't forget, July is White History Month. Feel free to use that hashtag. Next month I'm going to start hunting for it to see how much spread it had. And yeah, we'll highlight stories about the good side of our history and our heritage, and maybe we'll spend a little less time than usual kind of focusing on the negative stuff that we're going through as a people. You know, we need to encourage white people to become a solidarity conscious, bloc. We need to defend ourselves. We are 7% of the global population, and we're hated by almost everybody. If we're not hated, we're at least victimized by far too many of our own governments. Other than that, tonight I'm going to watch Citizen Vigilante, the new movie from Uwe Boll, who's been one of my favorite directors, no matter the dreck he puts out, for decades. Other than that, folks, I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.